Welcome to Talks with Dr. Gupta and friends. If you've spent the last few weeks doom-scrolling through headlines, you're probably feeling dizzy, not just because things are changing, but because the rules themselves are changing. The global playbook we relied on for the last 3 decades, how trade works, how alliances work, even how war works, is being rewritten in real time. Read each headline on its own, and it feels like chaos. But when you stack the signals together, a clearer picture emerges. The world isn't collapsing. It's realigning middle powers. Countries that are neither the US nor China are scrambling to adapt. Technology is shifting from the smartphone in your hand to AI embedded in factories, faces, and even lapels. And beneath the surface, some of the world's most feared regimes are showing cracks that were once unthinkable. This is not just change. This is survival mode. Let's start with today's date. January 26th, Republic Day in India. The parades are grand. The symbolism is heavy. But this year, the guest list tells a far more revealing story. Instead of a single head of state, India welcomed the leadership of the European Union. Not a monarch, not a president, a signal. The message is strategic autonomy. In plain English, panic management. India and Europe both feel squeezed by aggressive US trade policy on one side and China's scale and leverage on the other. They're trying to show the world they have options. In raw economic terms, the partnership is modest. India accounts for just 2.4% of EU trade. Tariffs are already low. The real value isn't money. It's messaging. Defense cooperation, space collaboration, skilled migration. Europe is aging. India is young. They need each other's people more than each other's products. But this is a marriage of convenience, not romance. India won't abandon Russian oil. Europe won't abandon carbon border taxes. Both sides tolerate friction because survival demands it. Canada is facing the same dilemma. Caught between a hostile US and an indispensable China, Prime Minister Mark Carney is walking a diplomatic tightrope. Threats of 100% US tariffs. Public encouragement of Alberta secession. At the same time, pressure at home over cost of living. So Canada pivots, carefully, toward China. Limited EV imports. Strict quotas, just enough relief for voters, not enough to trigger retaliation. As one Canadian minister put it, we have to focus on the end of the world and the end of the month. That line captures the era perfectly. While geopolitics fractures, technology is quietly reshaping power. Europe, surprisingly, is leading in industrial AI adoption. Not flashy consumer tools, but AI embedded in logistics, factories, and supply chains. Nearly half of EU manufacturers now use AI, far outpacing the US in industrial deployment. Companies like Schneider Electric and Carlsberg are saving hundreds of millions through efficiency, not hype. At the same time, the smartphone era is losing dominance. Shipments are down. Costs are rising. Chip factories prefer feeding AI data centers over building phone components. The future is moving off the screen, toward wearables, assistants, quiet computers. And power is shifting with it. Data is beating hardware. AI layers are beating devices. But perhaps the most dangerous shifts are happening inside regimes we once thought were unshakable. China's military leadership has been hollowed out by purges. Corruption has reached even its nuclear forces. Loyalty is replacing competence, a recipe for decay. In the Middle East, Hezbollah is collapsing financially. Money laundering pipelines are gone. Supply lines are broken. Iran now controls what remains. These systems look strong, until suddenly they aren't. So what ties all of this together? A world where stability is no longer the default. Where globalization no longer guarantees safety. Where middle powers build alliances not to win, but simply to avoid being crushed. The question now isn't who dominates, it's who survives. And for countries without chips, scale, or armies, the warning light is flashing red. Our job is to spot the signal in the noise. And right now, the signals are loud. Stay curious, stay safe, and happy new thinking.